Good morning and welcome to Honeybee You Tarot and to my series Cards and Coffee, where we are dialoguing with parts of self. Okay, so every day we have we pull a card from the Internal Family Systems deck, and then we dialogue using tarot, and we form the structure of the dialogue using the chakra centers. Okay, so anything else that you need to know will be listed in the description box below. For those of you who are new or just coming across this channel, my name is Melissa. And okay, wow, we've had a lot of, so I've got two cards, one that we've already dialogued with. Now, the thing with parts of self is we could each experience and project our own parts onto these images. However, I'm trying to not redo the same images over and over again, even though I could get a different message from each one at any given time. If you choose to listen to this reading or look at this reading as a message, personal message for you, that is fine. But my intention is really to offer, I don't know, a look at how we can use tarot to open up personal dialogues with the parts of self, with our own parts of self. So some of those journal prompts in order to do that will be in the description box. So I'm putting one card back, and this little guy has shown up. Is this the third time I've seen him? Probably the third time I've seen him in like maybe a week of pulling cards, and he kind of gets back into the deck. It's a different card is chosen. But here he is today. Again, he wants to be seen and heard. Okay. So we have a little boy. He looks to be, to me, he still has his blankie, so I don't know, 3 to 4 years old. And he is a little black boy, and his little red tennis shoes are untied. He looks I was going to say sad, but he looks weary. He looks scared. His little arms are straight down to his sides. There is a car pulling out of the driveway as if he has just been dropped off. So I don't want to make any assumptions about what's going on here for this little guy. Did I say he's boy? Yeah. And the gender isn't important. The color, the race, the creed, the religion, none of that is important. It's just an image, right? Outside the window is looks like a, middle-class neighborhood, little houses with cars in the drive, trees, grass. I mean, okay. The way I'm personally relating to this right now is, and I want anyone who's watching these to, relate to these parts in your own way. Of course, I will be doing the dialoguing, but my mom was a single mom. She worked multiple jobs at any given time. And, we were taken to, or early crack of dawn, I mean, sometimes, you know, taken to the babysitters, left at grandma's, which was fine. My grandma was like a second mom to me, but yeah, you know, a new place, a daycare center, you know, I just hated that. But it was part of kind of like, we're in this together kind of thing that she would promote. So I guess maybe that's part of why I see weary, you know, it's like, so maybe he's at a new sitters, or, you know, maybe he is, in the system. Let's dialogue. Let's see what's going on with this part, this little part. This little child. We all have an inner child working within us. Alive and well. And it's really important to attune to that part of us, to be able to have compassion for and parent, you know, for that part. Okay, let's see. So what do no, I'll just take the first one, okay? So I have, all right. Okay, so it's feeling very left out in the cold, very alone, weary, Five of Pentacles, you know, there's change, right? The fives. So it looks like there is an actual change of, it could be financial situation, home, you know, all of the things that we want for, we're looking at the base chakra for survival and safety, right? So that's house, home, money, our tribe, our people, a sense of belonging, food, shelter, all of that stuff is very important. And when you get the Five of Pentacles, right, this is feeling very lost, very alone, crippled, walking in a snowstorm, like two sparrows in a hurricane here. This image reminds me of, like, but there's this church window here, and inside the church is warmth and shelter. But they're moving forward, you know, barefoot through the snowstorm, hunkering, you know, trying to get shelter, not really even talking to each other, just barreling, you know, trying to get through it. And so this little person just does not see that. They don't understand yet that quite frankly, you know, this is representative of the inner spiritual strength. No child understands that. You know, they might be preached it, they might be, you know, taken to church and learned the little Bible school studies and all of that, but they don't get that. So, you know, I just feel that is what he has, is another change, another loss, another need to barrel through, you know. And it's kind of like his hands are real straight next to him with his little blankie. He's gonna cry. I'm gonna pause. Okay. I'm sorry. I needed to stand up and go walk out in the sunshine and grab some Swedish fish. Ooh. The way he's standing, he's really trying to be strong. Is really trying to be strong. And this seems to have, I think he's weary, I think he's angry. And this situation happens quickly, seems like. Okay. There's not much he can say, right? So as a therapist, I know this body language can create a attachment pattern where you like really don't have any power, and so you tense up your muscles, right? All of your muscles tense up, and over time that's just how you learn to cope, and that can manifest in, all kinds of physical issues. But I digress. Okay. So I want let's to he wants a happy childhood. He wants a community, friendship, wants to wants a new beginning, that is maybe even wants kind of like a do-over. Wants to go back. Wow, I could just go on, and I just don't think I want to do that for cards and coffee, so I'm not going to. But I think, like I said, he wants to do over. He wants a more happy childhood with friends and community, and I think probably wants to have happier memories, and potentially does, Okay. I'm going to have to finish that sentence. Potentially does. There's a potential that this little part can recreate a happier childhood, right? In order to get through life. It also could be that he really does want to heal, learn to reparent, be strong. So this could go, we could go down many pathways for this. Let's look at I can. So in the solar plexus, is killing me here. Okay, bottom of the deck. Three of Swords. Knight of Cups. Okay. I think I always see the Knight of Cups as sort of very Lance romance, very idealistic, in love with love. Nevertheless, there is an offer here of love, of healing, possibly forgiveness. And maybe that's what this is about, is doing the healing work, going within. Underneath the Three of Swords is the Hermit card, and underneath the Hermit is the Moon. So, you know, maybe he can, maybe he wants to, maybe he's willing to. Actively forgive, actively see children are so forgiving. Oh, this reading is killing me. You know, I was encouraged to work with children when I was in grad school. I can't do it. I mean, I can't even talk about an internal card, like a picture. Ridiculous. Our inner child is so forgiving and wants to believe in the best. And, you know, there are other parts that can become jaded. But this part appears to want to forgive, to remain hopeful and optimistic, even through their heartbreak, you know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm going to post this. In the heart chakra, I love. Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I don't know, right? What do I have a right to wish for? What do I have a right to hope for? What do I, you know, when I wish for things, when I hope and dream and consider what goes in the cups, in a cup, what would make me feel happy and joyful? I don't know. I can fantasize, but am I, being too optimistic? Am I going to be hurt again? There's this huge sense of heartbreak and sadness in my heart, in my heart chakra. And so people ask me, what do I want? What do I love? I mean, this is classic. Like, I don't know. I almost dare not. And then there's another part of me, that is very hopeful. Like, maybe this time, maybe this will work. Maybe if I I don't know, I just draw a blank even saying it. It's like, it's just weariness. And little kids, the little inner child believes that, it is the one who's responsible for everything that's happening in its world. Or little baby narcissists, right? Like, I'm the one who's creating this place that I'm in. I'm the one who's creating parents who, love me or don't love me. I'll just keep it simple. There's something I've done or haven't done that gets my parents to love me or not love me. I speak of the Emperor, King of Cups, and the Knight of Swords again, with joy, stability, commitment, Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And what's going on underneath here? when we're little and we don't have any control or power over what happens, but we're telling ourselves that we do and that it's our fault. And as we grow older, we start to realize, like, oh, no, I just have like shitty parents, you know, or whatever we tell ourselves. We start to say, like, when I'm big or when I'm an adult, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be in control of me and no one's going to tell me what to do and no one's going to tell me how to live and no one's going to tell me, you know, and any inkling towards someone taking your power away can set off this internal reactivity, which is really coming from the child's experience, right? Coming from wounding, coming from trauma. So it looks to me like this little kid, this weary inner child, as an adult, is alive and well. I'm in control. And here's the split. I'm going to remain calm, cool, and collected, and just when the storms and the waves are crashing around me and the emotional, you know, problems come up, nothing to see here. Like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Calm. I'm in control. You know, sometimes in relationships, those people, they do what's called stone. Well, okay, so they shut down. Okay, their attachment style will be to avoid conflict at all costs, and they just shut down. There's no, like, you're not going to get someone to engage. And for many times in partnerships, you have someone who's extremely anxious in their attachment pattern and they're wanting engagement. They're afraid, like, you're going to leave me, you're going to hurt me, we have to talk about this, we have to solve the problem, we have to do all this thing. And someone with a more inhibited or avoidant attachment style is just going to go, no, not gonna talk about it. I want stability. I'm not getting into crazy town, right? But it doesn't have to be, right? So just said that. It could also be a split. Okay, so when something harsh comes at it can just kind of flatline, right? That's how it speaks. It just, I'm not saying anything. It can also internally feel anger. It can also internally feel that, like I said, the split, where inside where no one can see is where all the stuff is happening. All the fears, all the anxiety, all the anger, all the, you know, the different things. But on the outside, nothing to see here. I'm good. I'm good. What's your problem? that's, I don't know. I guess you're going to have to figure that out. But internally, they're like freaking out. What could this mean? If you're angry with me because I didn't pick up lemons at the store, are you going to leave me? But they're not going to have that conversation. And of course, if this is the energy that's coming at you, no. Could it be that well, okay. It could be that there is a fear of upsetting an apple cart to the joy and stability. So this person also, this little part also maybe doesn't I was going to say this isn't what I'm saying, but for whatever reason it's coming up, I'm just going to say it. This part also maybe doesn't feel comfortable saying what it wants and what it needs because it doesn't want to upset other people, right? It doesn't want to upset joy and stability. Okay, let's move on. What do I see? Ooh, let's see. Okay. Well, yeah. It's really kind of a time to evaluate where I am, how far I've come, to reflect on like what have I created so far in my life, in any kind of like in any of the material realm, what have I created in terms of my career, my coin, my home, my family, my relationships, it's time for me to really reflect on where I've been, choices I've made, the struggle that I've been through, and to really harness all the courage and strength that I have, own it because I've gone through everything that I've gone through, in order to decide, in order to take my next step. What is my next step going to be? Is this the end of this little crop? Is there more here? What do I have to prune away? What do I have to... we had the Seven of Cups earlier. Now we have the Seven of Pentacles. It's just, and if you watch me, that number sevens represent choice points. It's about spiritual growth. It's like halfway between the Ace and the King. And it's like, okay, well, what have I, up to this point, Now we're at a fork in the road with the journey so far. Now what do I do? What do I want? What am I building? Is it working? But no matter what I choose, it's going to require some inner courage, some strength. And the ability to really attune to whether I am responding or I'm reacting to where I am right now. Okay. I mean, there's potential. And in sevens, there's potential, right? But in what? Geez, really? All right. I know. Doesn't know. Magician in reverse. I just don't know that this part feels confident right now. Magician in reverse. You know, the magician knows. Like, there's just no question. I have everything that I need in order to create the life that I want. Like or to set off on my journey, on my path. Like, what do I want? Oh, okay. Well, let's get started here. Let's mix a little of this with a little of that. Let's mix some of the heart with a little bit of the fire, and you know, go for that. And or maybe mix a little bit of the earth with a little bit of the water, and see how that flows and grows. And you know, the magician in reverse, no, they don't have that sense of confidence. They may use manipulative tactics in order to get what they want because they don't believe that they can create it on their own. They're used to disappointment and heartbreak and loss, and they're afraid. You know, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because we're looking at a part, right? We're looking at this little part is operating. I'm not talking about a little boy. I'm talking about a part, right? And that part has fear and maybe feels insecure. So it does whatever it can to survive life. Yeah. Codependency. Okay, so wowzers. I was really hoping for a lighthearted reading today. So this will be Thursday's reading. All right, let's see, little guy. What's going on here? Why are you here? I mean, I just think he really wants to be the magician. Okay, why are you here? Growth, balance, acceptance, and impartiality. All right. What are your fears? What are your fears? Whoa, how many cards came out? Okay, I can't take like half this deck. Okay, no. Let's, what are your fears? I'm just get like something more succinct. 1, 2. You know, it is complicated, right? I mean, that's 4 cards there, and then that was 4 or 5 cards for the fears. Of course it's complicated. It's the inner child. Oh, talk about complicated. That's why we have to learn to go within and look at the parts of self and how many parts of self are operating at any given time. You know, where's their fear? Oh my gosh. Look at this. There's the fears. All right, thank you. All right, so is this in a relation? Oh, yeah, no. So soulmate. So funny, yeah, I was talking about relationship dynamics. Okay. And if you didn't have to work so hard, if you didn't have to worry, if you weren't you know, this could just be the wounded child, like the wounded part. And maybe what I've been talking about are other parts that try to protect this part. But this is a tarot reading that, this is, whoa, this isn't there. Okay. Complacency. All right. And completion. Okay. Well, let's look at let's look at why this little part is here. Growth. Your message is best expressed when you are uniquely you. Grass says break away. It may be time for a change of scenery. Visit a foreign country, embark on a new enterprise, or learn a skill. Most importantly, grow. Okay, most importantly, grow. Farmer here. Personal inquiry, what have I outgrown? Am I willing to become independent, right? It looks like there was maybe some codependent stuff here. Key ideas, taking a stand, living your truth, lack of safety, clashing values, teaching by example. Keywords, warrior, peace, and courage. And that, you know, like I said, I think he wants to manifest something. He wants to believe in something. He wants to hope for something, but he's like, weary. I mean, at some point, how much can you take? Good questions. Balance. Okay, balance. There's like a little synopsis page or a little, is that what they're called? Little bite-sized version rather than me read through the whole page. I'm going to start, when I get these multiple cards, just reading the little snippet. So this card may indicate a reluctance to change. You may be hesitating because of the past, but that doesn't mean you should be hasty. Weigh all sides before moving forward. This can mean the start of a relationship proceeds slowly. Okay? May want to move towards something, may be torn between these two energies. Acceptance. Innocence and an inability to see one's gifts are indicated. Yep. An inability to see one's gifts are indicated. As well as the protection of spirit guides. Where was that card? As well as the protection of spirit guides. It's an inability to see that, to know that. This child self part. Good luck and an increase in self-esteem and confidence. So, you know, this good luck, protection from spirit guides, it is available. And taking this and turning it right side up, I mean, wow, wow, confidence. Not so much. But the opportunity is here. When the cards come up in reverse, it's like Spirit saying, like, okay, you heard that, turn that frown upside down. Like, there, it's, the energy is here, it's just skewed. There's something that's turned it upside down, that has it in reverse. That's what I believe, okay? It's out of alignment, it's out of balance, it's out, okay, but it's here if you will see it. If we can see it. All right, and impartiality. This is not a time to personally shine, but to allow others to come forth with their gifts. You may find yourself in the role of neutral advisor. Hold the space for others to find their own answers. Advice may not be well received. Be unbiased now. Okay. So, you know, if you're trying to control, or this inner child, like I said, could be trying to control its life and its need for stability in its life. And one of the outcomes of that is trying to control the external world rather than controlling the internal. Because remember, in that kind of an attachment, body language, what's going on inside is not reflected on what's going on externally. And I'm going to have to control this whole external situation as an adult, so I don't have to go there. But again, if someone is, comes to you and is speaking, asking for some sort of conversation or dialogue, or wants to express a complaint or anything, it's okay to just listen. How do you feel about that? Tell me more about that. Do you have any solutions in mind? Have you considered ways in which you can solve this problem? Okay. The fear, soulmate. This card indicates changing old communication patterns and being open to a new way of interacting. You may no longer be able to have conversations that don't sustain your authenticity. Freedom lies ahead, better than you can imagine. Wow. So it looks like these little synopses, these are more like the actual oracle. Can this part become brave and say what it's feeling and say what it wants and express its truth, so that it's calling in the right relationship, so that it's calling in, someone that is truly aligned, or creating true intimacy. Like, can you see me? Do you see me? Not this, like a persona that I've, put out there. My heart bleeds too, right? Okay. And complacency. What would it be like if I didn't have these fears, or if I could take a step back, if I didn't have to work so hard? Interesting. Let's see. Life force energy must be taken seriously. Are you standing tall in your own dreams or trying to build on someone else's? Sadness and an inability to dissociate from a lost dream can show up here. It is time to walk away from anything that does not deeply resonate with you. Release and be free. Don't have to stand here anymore. If I'm not happy, this isn't right for me, I do have a certain amount of power, and I will acknowledge my broken heart. I will feel it. I will acknowledge it. I will hold space for it. I will be strong. Completion. Okay? And I have to move towards what is right for me when I figure that out. All right, let's get one more card. Whew. I was going to do 2 readings in a row, but I think I'm going to go for a walk in the beautiful sunshine we are having today. later. I'm gonna record some more. Clients. I don't know why I'm talking right now. Sorry. Final message, please. Okay. Final message. Come to the edge. Look at that. Somewhat like the Fool card. Come to the edge. 36. Man, you know, we are coming up on a full moon. It's a super moon, and those can get really intense. It's going to be so close to the earth. It's in Libra. Near Leo. There is potential for some real painful endings, but an opening up then of a sense of like cathartic release, maybe even like, okay, this is done now, like a whole new chapter opens, right, to come forward more authentically and courageously. Yeah. Okay, 36. Wow. Courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want progress. It's okay to be afraid. What the hell is wrong with me today? Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration. Oh my God. See, this is the energy of the full moon. Right? I don't know if I can post this. But now's the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. There we go. Absolutely. Okay, well, wow, what a powerful reading. And I hope it enlightened you or gave you something to think about, a new way to look at, you know, an inner child within yourself. Maybe not this particular situation, but we all have inner children, an inner child within us that we can and need to hold space for, to take a step back for, and to listen to it, to attune to it, to say, you know, what's going on here? Well, of course you feel angry. Well, of course you feel sad. Well, of course you feel afraid. Well, of course you want to do that. Well, of course that sounds fun, right? Because X, Y, Z. And remind it that where it may have felt powerless in the past, It does have choices now. So, dear ones, have a great Thursday, and I wish you well. Be well. Bye-bye.